6/12, on July 9th, 2013, Raleigh Board of Water Commissioner meeting. Present, the three commissioners, the superintendent, John Reza, Mr. Jack Cook, Jamie, Laura, and our wonderful camera operator. What's your name?
Nathan.
Nathan.
First, asking that each week, you know that.
Well, we should.
You have a name tag.
One of these days I'll remember it. Okay. First order of business is accept the minutes of July 2nd, 2003.
Couple of changes here. Says Stu will bring it to the personnel board on Friday, July 7th. I brought it off to the town hall in the mail slot on July 3rd, early July 3rd.
All right, so we'll just put an actual July 3rd.
And on page 2,
You got that, Laura? I would just put after July 7th, put in parentheses, actually, July 3rd, 2013.
on page 2. I said I wanted 3 quotes from local people. And I said all in favor, and I said Stu did not respond. That's wrong.
I remember you, didn't you vote?
Certainly did. I said I'd like 3 quotes from local people.
Okay, so, yeah. My recollection is that Stu voted, but he insisted on getting a third quote from another vendor. Any other corrections? There was another thing here, tape coverage ended abruptly at 1:10:40. Neither visual nor audio coverage continued, meeting had not closed. Remainder of minutes taken from handwritten notes. I'm not sure, what does that mean? Is that something on tape counter on the?
Yeah, it didn't go to the end of the meeting, so we just documented, so anybody that was watching on TV.
So it was probably 7:10.
It ended. I don't know what happened. It didn't go.
Last week?
Yeah, it didn't go to the end, it stopped.
I'll take a look at that.
So we just made a note in our minutes, that's all.
All right, so I got a correction on this. So the rate for this primary operator isn't a red circle rate. It's what the posted rate was.
Okay, so I attached the red circle letter from the selectmen. So we can talk about that when we get here.
It becomes a red circle rate when it gets approved by the board, personnel board.
Okay.
So we were going to attempt to get a red circle rate if
So
necessary.
the letter dated June 18th is the red circle letter from Debbie Egan to the
Yeah.
Board of Commissioners. I can change that though, Tim. What do you
Well,
want me to say?
what I would suggest we say is, I think that we may have to go for a red circle rate to hire any one of these gentlemen, but we wouldn't know until we got into making them an offer and then maybe having to go forward with trying to get a red circle rate.
Okay.
The rate 2629 is the high rate on that posting. So we should probably start off with that, but what I'm just saying is that where we put in this thing here is that isn't a red circle grade, it's a standard grade. Other than that, I think we're okay. So, do you have any idea what time we actually conclude the meeting? Can you recall that? You guys,
Excuse me?
can you recall what time we concluded the meeting last week?
Somewhere around 8 o'clock?
So it must have been at 7 o'clock. Shut up, I was watching on the news the other night.
Well, that's meaningless, that number, because it's just a count on that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it must have ended at 7:10. Not 1:10.
Oh, I know, but this is a meaningless number, it's just a count on the thing. Do you remember what time we concluded it? I mean, Stewie said
Right around 8
Wait a
o'clock.
minute, wait a minute.
Somewhere's around.
7:30.
let's call it 7:45.
Okay.
Approximately 7:45. Laura, you get them corrections? Thanks. Okay, so I have a motion, accept that. We have a second, by Stu, all in favor?
Alright.
Aye. Civil engineering consulting contract. We discussed that last meeting. Mr. Hargraves updated his contract proposal. So we have that in the package. Pursuant to your request for a proposal, GA Consultants pleased to provide a proposal extending our initial proposal dated May 21st, 2013 for contract administrative services during construction of the water facility located above referenced address. The work consists of reviewing the ongoing construction activity and associated quality control as it relates to the construction documents. Additionally, we will review project documentation, including contractor change orders, claims, budget review, requests for information, and pay requisitions. Services will be provided on an as-needed basis at a rate of $80 per hour, and the budget for the extension of this project not to exceed $8,000. Return of one signed original copy of constitute our acceptance of this proposal. Acceptance of the proposal will be prepared in GA Consultants as authorized to proceed the above described work. As we talked about last week, the need to have some expertise in that area is greatly needed and appreciated from this consultant. So going forward in this fiscal year, we're taking them on not to exceed 8,000. I talked to Mr. Hargraves. He says that, over the next, 8 to 10 months, they should cover them. So unless anything unforeseen happens.
All right, I want to comment on what was said last week. He's not to be paid out of the maintenance wage line.
Yeah.
However, he can be paid for the water treatment plant construction out of the borrowed funds for the water treatment plant.
Yeah, the borrowed funds. that are not-
Non-SRF borrowed funds
Yeah.
for the water treatment plant.
Okay. Because our minutes stated that we were going to pay him out of the maintenance fund, so
We can't do that.
we can't do that, so we're going to change that.
You did it this year, so should I change it?
Well,
we did
the
what
fiscal
year?
14 needs to be paid out of the treatment plant borrow funds.
Yeah, you should go into that cubbyhole called the $1.3 million non-SRF funds. So there's two funds, the SRF fund, that's a bond, and then this other fund, which is borrowed at town meeting for 1.3, which encompassed the pilot study, the design, and a whole gambit of other things related to gearing up for this treatment plant. Okay. So I'll make a motion that we pay John Hargraves. We accept his proposal, that's the first motion. We have a motion, we accept his proposal. Roy made a motion to accept his proposal. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Now, the second part of the thing would be how we pay him. We should pay him out of the fund that originally originated as 1.3 million. And we have a motion for that.
So move.
Okay, and then second?
I said, I made a motion.
Okay, then Roy will second this motion. All in favor? Aye.
Something else,
I thought he was supposed to put together a sign thing, so we'll just say we accept it.
You're amending his signed contract, so you just have to sign this. Tim,
Sign
You already signed this contract, you're just amending it.
Okay.
So you just have to sign at the bottom of that sheet. And we'll be all set.
Just sign right there. Both you guys are southpaws?
all smart people looked in and
Okay. Next order of business is primary and secondary operator and administrative assistant position. John, you have an update on that at all?
Yeah, the administrative assistant position, talked to Debbie today. It was approved Friday by the personnel board. And she just needs to talk to the union. It'll take a couple of days.
Have to advertise it for 10 days.
Right. Post the position.
Okay.
so the ones that we have, we can't vote on, so we gotta do it again.
Well, it just has to be
Well, we have-
reposted.
It's a different job, it's a different job because it's been changed, it has to be posted for 10 days.
So we have 10 days. It's not to say that the candidates that have already applied for it are not, or may be interested in it. They have to call them to find out if they're still interested.
No, I mean, I know we had a few that was interested.
Yeah. So I think they'd still be interested, but they gotta be, since they changed
They
the
gotta
grade
ask them again.
and then they changed the description, they're gonna have to call them and find out, so. they've offered to do that downtown. But within 10 days, we'll have another batch of candidates, and we'll go forward with looking at that. What I would suggest we do is first ask them that are helping us downtown to give us who they think meets the qualifications, pass it to both John and Laura, and have John and Laura go through those applications for the administrative assistant, and then maybe come up with 3 or 4 candidates to invite into a meeting. Is that something that you guys think might be able to proceed with that?
That's fine.
Okay. So that would give them an opportunity to see if there was a good fit here, and we'll go from there. So that wouldn't happen for at least 2 weeks, because of the 10-day closing. Then they'll weed it out. So 2 weeks from now, you might see a package down here for both Laura and John to look through. Okay. The secondary operator, I think what we ought to do is, and I want your input for a discussion, we should hire the primary first and then get the secondary
Yes, thank you.
to be looked at by the primary along with John, and then decide if that's going to be a good mix of the secondary.
I'd like to hire a primary tonight.
Okay.
I'd like the secondary slide for a while, see how things work out.
Okay. I agree with that.
I
Tippy.
think what we should do is myself, my own personal, is hire a primary and, or offer him a job to see if he wants some money in it. And let him go over, the secondary ones, somebody that he thinks is qualified to work with him.
We'll just move slowly, that's how I feel.
No, but what I'm saying is, hire the primary and let him go over the secondary ones.
Yeah.
And somebody that he's comfortable with, that he can work with, and knows the job description, you know what I'm saying?
I understand that, but I think we should move a little slow. Tippy toe.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, Sue, is,
I
you know,
understand.
the first guy, I mean, I've already had somebody pick right along that I like to go on. And let him look over the things and see who he thinks, and then he can talk to us and
Yeah, I think we're
make his
all,
recommendation that he'd prefer to have so-and-so, or whatever.
I think we're all on the same page, just a different version. But we're all on the same page. We're going to hold off hiring or looking at the secondary operators until we get the primary on, so that both the superintendent and the primary operator can get more into it as far as who to hire for the secondary. So I think it makes sense. So as far as the primary operator, did you guys make any calls this week?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that I list Paul Hill, Glenn Smith,
Yeah. That's,
and
did you talk to any of the,
yes, I am. And everybody says it would be foolish not to hire him.
Stu, did you talk to anybody about any of the primary candidates?
I talked last week, when I talked to Topfield. Excellent references. However, I'll go on with this gentleman from Georgetown. Roy made the motion, I'll second it.
Okay, well, I just let everybody know that I made some calls about the gentleman from Georgetown, and he comes highly recommended by a lot of different people that have a lot of different experiences with him, or, has heard of it. I talked to the commissioners over there, and they all think he's a wonderful asset. So-
I think he should be, see if he'll accept the pay grade.
Okay, so there's a motion on the table from Roy and seconded by Stu that we proceed and making an offer to,
We'll have to discuss the pay grade, we can't go
well,
overboard.
no. we're gonna make him an offer, we can only make him an offer for the posted amount. Okay, so,
But what is the number on that now? I mean, it changed as of the first.
well, no, yeah, it's 26.29 per hour.
That's the top of the grade, is that correct?
That's the top.
What's the bottom? 21 something.
No, I know before when we hired somebody.
What?
I know before when we hired somebody, I asked about it before, I don't know if it's changed or not. If we could hire them at a certain amount, and then after 90 days, bump it up. And I was told that we couldn't do that, that whatever we had to hire them at, whatever we hired them at, they had to stay. I don't know the legal part of it. You know?
I think that, if it does become an issue, I think that, the personnel board would, entertain, looking at that. So I think that, I think we ought to make them, start with the offer at the
What
highest rate.
I'd like to do myself is offer them, say, it's 21.25 to 26.29. Is offer them 25, say 75, and after 90 days, go over it, and see if we want to bring them up to the top part of it.
I think the next thing we should do is contact the gentleman, see if he's still interested.
I did.
Okay, get him in here. And in the meantime, we'll talk it over with the administrator. We'll talk over the wage.
I mean, with the man with that much experience, we're not going to get on the low side
Well,
by
we-
any means.
I know,
We
we
have
don't
to-
need to get into that tonight, is what I'm saying. If he's still interested, we talk it over with the administrator.
All right.
but my feeling is that, our primary operator that we had here was making more money than that.
Exactly. He was
Okay.
at 28 something, wasn't it?
Rather than belabor the salary thing, I think we ought to make him an offer,
The guy said.
and at as high as we can. And, because I think he's an excellent candidate with our control needs. What do you think, John? So we're gonna be dealing with a lot of, control issues with a startup and everything, so
So what do you want, a motion for this here?
26.29.
No, I got a motion.
The next part of business, I think, should bring them in here and talk to them.
We can do that. Maybe we can have an offer letter sent out to him, and then offer him the opportunity to come in here the next meeting. How's that sound for a game plan?
Well, I think we ought to offer, myself, offer him this here, and if he's interested in it, have him come in and we'll go over it.
Yeah.
So that's my motion.
Okay. So, does that mean, clarify for me, we should, do you? if we're gonna
I think
make
we
a-
ought to offer him the top number and see if he's interested in it.
Yep,
And if he is, have him come in and
he is interested.
sit down and
He is,
I know that too, but I'm just saying, have him come in and we go over everything with him and
Well,
get him to work, because John
Yeah.
and Rob need help.
so I think we gotta get a letter out,
Okay,
this, right after this meeting, and get it to him. With an offer for hiring him.
well, I'll make it.
I want to mention it, the offer to the administrator.
I've
Fair
done,
fair enough?
I've done that.
Right.
I mean, a man with that
If it was
much
a red
experience,
circle,
I think
if it was a
would,
red circled rate, that we were offering him without approval from the,
Yeah.
we would have maybe some issues with that. But since
We're all
this,
in this together, we have to work.
No, I'm just saying with a man with that much experience, I think we should go to the high side and get him in here as quick as we can.
so we'll make an offer letter to him and get him on as soon as possible.
They'll probably have to give 2 weeks' notice where he is.
Well, I just gotta give him something.
Yeah.
We expect the same here.
Exactly. So what is commonly appropriate is 2 weeks, I think. I don't know, do you guys know more about that than I do? Was it 2 weeks' notice? When you took an
Yeah.
appointment thing here with
Customary.
Jamie?
In my business, 2 weeks is customary.
Okay? So give him, ask him for 2 weeks, so 2 weeks from tonight would be, let's see.
And we could have him on board for August 1st, I mean, that would be super,
How about, report in on, August 29th?
Just check with him if he puts on vacation or whatever.
Okay.
I mean, you might have to have some time that you gotta use up over there and all that kind of
Well,
stuff.
That's what I was getting at.
Well, does the board, wish that I would call him up and ask him what day he wants to start?
Exactly.
And what range dates do you think is, what we
I
want?
mean, we want him as soon as we can, but I mean, we gotta work with him.
Fair enough. Looks
Okay.
good, mate.
It's okay. All right, so,
We didn't get a second to Roy's motion.
Excuse me?
We didn't get a second to Roy's motion
what was the motion?
to offer him the 2629.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that contingent on, that it's, you said it's fine with the administrator.
Yep.
All right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Well, we're finally getting there.
Went down a couple of dollars.
Yeah, I think that we're getting there. Commitment. Anything odd shake out with the commitment, Laura? John? $8.46. This is the day we go on low stuff. Why $8.46? Here's one for $2.06.
They didn't use any water.
You used $2.06.
It was probably the refrigerator making ice cubes.
I know a business way of looking at that. Can I say something?
Yes.
John Sikora working on well too. Is he being paid out of the water treatment plant loan?
On well too, is he?
What did we pay, John?
I think you were referring to the service bill that was just processed. John Sikora was helping us with well two outside of his clerk of the works position.
Paid for? Was he paid for?
Out of the maintenance line. Yep, as part of the services.
Okay, and the gentleman that's cutting the grass, he cannot go on water breaks. And he cannot work overtime. Because of the liability and safety concerns on water breaks. On the whole business, how you doing on your inventory, John?
All set?
Okay, so I'm looking at this, and here's a bill here for 1 cent what is that guy, does he call up here saying, you want it in cash, or what?
No, he doesn't get, no, we don't bill anything under $1. Just so
Okay.
you know.
Why does he get a 1 cent bill though?
Because he had applied credits from, he overpaid his last bill,
Okay.
and we moved the money forward to the next bill, Tim. There's several people that, you know, go away for the summer to Maine, they give us a chunk of change, and I just had a resident today pay me for 6 months. People have different situations. Everything is billable though, so.
It's kind of, it's just one of my things I was gonna ask tonight.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know. It doesn't seem, if they haven't used water and they're getting billed for some ridiculous amount of
Well,
small
who is
amount
it?
of
Do you
money.
want me to look up what their actual usage was?
No,
Who is it, Tim? I have it with me.
you gotta question our meters, if we get stuff like that, if they're not home or
What
not using
address,
it.
what address is it?
Well, there's one at 60 Main Street, and it was 36 cents. It's not, it's like, there's 4 or 5 of them on every, or 4 of them on every one of these pages. The one center is, I hate to tie up your time.
Okay, so that is, actually, that's a high-low, they have they have 2 meters in there.
Oh, here it is,
That's a high-low.
293 Weatherfield Street. 293 Weathersfield Street. So we gotta sign this?
Yeah, he just didn't use any water. That's what happened there. It's a business.
Use 1 cent worth.
It was an average of an average,
Oh,
Tim. He went from 15,806 to 15,806,9999.
Laura, in the month of June, how much went out and how much came in dollars?
So the month of June, we brought in $97,092. And I would have to go back to, we're still working on June 30th. You got bills in front of you right now?
Yep.
So I won't have that for another week.
Okay.
all right.
You
Purchase,
figure at least 97's come in?
97,000, sure, yeah. There's, your report is in there, your cash flow report is in there. So what went out, Tim, as of today? For the month, it tells you how much went out.
current year expenditures are, total water enterprise fund? Oh. Where is that line at, Mark?
So your current year is under operating, you see at the bottom there, your budget, and then your operating, and then your remaining balance.
$4 million?
Yep. So I can give you a summary by month. I can bring it to the next meeting of all the cash flow by month, the money coming in and coming out.
Okay.
And then you can see it for the whole year.
Okay, so, purchase orders. Did you go through this, John?
I think that we can purchase this.
Fire extinguisher signs.
Well, I get it.
Initial mowing. Did you get a quote from another outfit?
Yeah, he was $640.
Okay.
He was double with that for this.
I know Station 2 and Station 1 look very nice.
Good.
I think they did an excellent job, really, for considering how high it was.
Let me sign it.
Oh.
Maybe that would be just a size to get. T-shirts.
What is this, 320? I thought we had quoted 300.
He revised it a little bit up.
Go to that last week.
Chat recorders.
John, what's this? $9,686 in stock for?
This is subdivision just starting to come in and looking for meters. So we got a request for, I think 15, 20 right now.
20.
20. I guess they're selling houses like crazy.
So this is 20 of them?
Quote on the back, I think. Yes.
So is this the last warrant we got for fiscal year 13, or is there another one coming?
I think that's gonna be it, Tim.
Did you go through all these, John? So, assuming we're gonna sign this tonight, is that what you want?
Yep.
All right, synthetic organic contamination, what's that?
They call it SOC test. The original testing.
Do you have a copy of the lab report I can take a picture of?
And then,
Sure, you want me to go get it?
Did they send it?
Yeah. Which one is that for, Tim?
SOCs?
It's $850 a pop.
They're the most expensive of all the tests, as a rule.
So DigSafe, are we in the DigSafe system?
Yes.
So why are we charged? It's only $1 a call, right?
That's the way it works.
So the gas company pay?
Sure, yeah.
Gas, electric, they all pay.
So what is it, like an assessment fee in case something goes amok? They have a fund there to take care of it?
They pay the people such as one of us, Jack, we call DigSafe. We don't get charged. It's the municipalities that get charged.
You have to be in the system, don't you? Isn't that how it works or something?
Excuse me?
Don't you have to be in the system or something so you can just call in and...
You just call up.
Wow, I've never seen this.
Yeah, they've always been expensive.
So there's a whole suite of, a lot of different things, including pesticides and everything else.
Yeah. All synthetic compounds.
We ever picked up anything like on this list?
The SOCs, you know, those have been good.
And they sent it out to Premier Laboratory, where's that? You know?
I don't remember exact location now.
Thanks, Mark.
And Stu, I just roughly looked, we spent 147,000 this month in expenses.
147,
Yeah, we had some debt payments in there.
and
it
you've taken
was
in 97?
a little bit more than that, it was like 127, I'm sorry.
You've taken in 127?
So you gotta look at the whole year, because some months we take in more money and spend less, and some months we spend more and take in less, depending on what we pump. I'll bring the whole
I
report.
understand that. We have to be careful of this funding.
Oh, yeah. It's the timing of the debt.
So John, you're supposed to sign that.
Yeah.
Give it to us, okay?
Yep.
So, but I'd like you to sign it and then give it to us. I don't want to tell you to sign it, give it to us, okay?
Yep. I'd just like you to look it over
Yeah.
before we sign.
So they went down and then this is a new wage rate for that seasonal worker.
Yes.
And so this is just paperwork that has to be done for the, so we brought him in on the old rate and then we're gonna up his rate this week,
Yes.
or last week.
July 1st.
July 1st, right.
July 1st.
So, yeah.
It's a non-union position, Tim.
I'm just thinking, is this a board, should this be a board thing?
So there's an email attached from Debbie Egan. Or Amy, I forget now.
Do we need a vote on?
I think you should vote on it, yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Why are we paying the bank to handle the water department's money?
Banks are charging for everything. Now, and do we have a choice on who we can use for a bank, or?
So that's Karen Summit, the treasurer chooses our banks.
Okay,
We don't choose our banks.
all right, so. So I think the procedure for these type of things, John, and
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, this might go back a long time, but what should happen is that the superintendent, the supervisor should be going through all this stuff with the business manager
Yep.
and saying, okay, this looks good, and all the numbers are checked, right?
Right.
And so I don't have to ask too many questions, I might ask a few questions, but it'll be right, something that's right on the tip of your tongue. And then you bring it here to the board, and the board asks you questions about it. This is Jerry Hovey's,
Yeah, good opinion.
okay. And then what I'd like to do is entertain a motion to accept this wage action. And I'm not sure if we did this for the other things, but let's just try to get this thing done, so. This wage action is a rate that was determined by the Personnel Board for
Yes.
this upcoming year.
Mhm.
And is this, did you check this number against what they said, or did you get this number from them?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so,
So we need a motion?
motion to accept this wage action.
I'll make that motion.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Fox Meadow letter.
On this thing here, John, what do we have to make up a meter with the hook to the hydrant and set one up? Is that what you gotta do, or
Yeah,
we don't have one made up?
well, right now, there's a couple of them out at the water treatment plant that they're using. So
Do we have something here for a meter that you can make up?
I have a meter, but I may need to get some fittings to
I mean, I don't see a problem with this, as long as we
transition it to the
deal.
hydrant.
I have no problem with it, I'm in favor of it.
Long as it's being metered, I have no problem with it.
I don't have a problem.
So what do you want? You want a motion to accept this?
Isn't this normal business?
I thought so.
John? Isn't this normal business? Somebody wants some water off a fire hydrant, they come down here, they say, okay, we want to get some water off a fire hydrant, and then we provide them a meter,
Right.
and we charge them
Yep.
for getting water off the fire hydrant. Isn't that normal business?
Yeah, we go over
Yeah.
whatever's on the meter. I think this is set up.
Okay, so I don't think we need a motion like this, this is just a normal business here.
They're buying water,
Huh?
they're buying water, right?
Yeah, that's our business. Okay, so there's a proposal here.
Yes.
Could you explain it to us? What's, again, I think we talked about this last week, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We talked about the open gas.
So,
I guess the two tanks that are out there, three actually, they don't hold enough for a long enough time period, so they wanted to upgrade the capacity to the longer.
What you're saying is remove two 100-gallon tanks and replace it with one 500-gallon tank.
Right.
And we get 5 cents a gallon off by doing it.
Yeah.
Win-win situation.
does it cost us any money?
No, there's no cost. He
No
did put a
charges.
permit charge in there, but the town doesn't charge us for permits.
All the water department has to do is supply the trench and 3 inches of sand on the bottom.
No, that's gonna go across the driveway over here.
Sand on
Yeah, we were looking at different locations. I didn't know if you want to move it to 10 feet off the building, or if you want to go over on the other side.
Wouldn't we be better off if it was on the other side and then put a cement block on each end of it so it doesn't get hit plowing?
Yeah, I mean,
Do they fill after hours? Or do they come during business hours to fill?
to fill the tanks?
Yeah.
I think it's usually during business.
It's on the side of the fence now anyway, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think it should be across the driveway, out of the way, away from the building myself.
You don't want anybody to hit it.
I have a question.
Do we need
Safety.
stanchions and all this other stuff with it?
Said here, says here, payments are to be made upon completion of work. This proposal may be withdrawn if not accepted within 30 days. However, total cost, permits only, $75. So that answers your questions. No charge, except for the permit. And the water department digging the trench.
Jesus, sounds like,
I just think it would be better across the driveway away from the building myself.
Oh, I agree with you. Has to be 10 feet anyway.
Right, and now it's not 10 feet, that's why we gotta change it to begin with.
Yeah.
So we go straight across the driveway and put it on there, and put a couple of those big cement blocks on each end of it so it can't get hit.
Get a little further away from the driveway so the plows don't hit it.
Yeah, but I mean, you still put like a couple of big cement blocks, what I'm saying, so
Right.
they can't back
I
into it.
understand.
Okay, so,
I mean, 500 gallons of propane, I think it should be away from the building.
Yeah.
so it doesn't cost us any money. And, so it sounds like you should contract with him, John.
May not even cost a permit for us for the town.
Yeah, just cross out the permit fee, I guess. and-
Well, I'll check with the town first. Sounds like a good thing.
All right, so. Now we're on to old business. Responses from Weston and Sampson on change orders. We got any letters from Weston and Sampson?
Not that I know of.
I called today, and the letter's essentially the draft. It's essentially complete, and it just has to be checked by the higher-ups. And we're hoping to have it by this Friday.
Okay. I understand, I talked to John Hargraves briefly, I'm sure you did too. They're working out a modification. We denied a time extension to change order 5, remember that? We accepted change.
Was that the I-beam 5?
I think it was more of the
Or was that the electrical?
electrical stuff. There was a change order. You and I voted on it. Roy, Stewie abstained. But we accepted the change order without the extension of time. We didn't want a grand extension of time. Well, they're working on coming up with another number for the extension of time. I think that they have to have some extension, but not quite as much, so they're working on that at this point, so.
Well, maybe they started giving us the stuff when they first decided, instead of waiting 2 months, we wouldn't have to be learning
Well,
about
look
it.
at where we're at now, we're like a month after
Yeah.
that conversation, so.
No, I mean, they keep the things and they talk about it themselves between the two, and then they don't come to the board for a month or two. And then they want us to rubber stamp it, and I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, we need to get it earlier. So a lot of this stuff's gonna come together for the next meeting.
Okay.
I'm thinking that, given everything that's there on the table, we should probably be more receptive to modifying the contractor's extension of time request, and then maybe go somewhere between that and what we want. So I think we're gonna have to accept some time change on that. I don't think it's gonna be a consequence, but to the overall project. So that's coming up next time, so hopefully we'll resolve that. So that's all I know. How about you, John? You got any more updates on that? Change orders?
I haven't, no.
Anything on
Really.
change order 6?
It's minor things going on, they're bundling some more, they're waiting. So
Yeah,
maybe John Highgraves can give you an update next week.
all right.
Will John be at next week's meeting to let us know what's going on?
We going to every other starting come in, or we gonna have to keep staying at one?
I think we ought to take a week off.
Well, next week you have the joint meeting on the 18th, correct, Stu? Because I need to post that, and I didn't know the location or the...
Is it joint meeting?
The 18th.
Oh, yeah.
On Thursday, 10 a.m. Meet
Okay.
at the town hall, Hinton, Nashua.
I need to post a location, though, on the open meeting.
Yeah,
What
it's gonna
room
be,
and, an
Field trip to
address.
Nashua, New Hampshire.
I don't know, like, you have to give me an address or something?
if you go on the internet site and search up
What should I do?
the Nashua treatment plant address.
We're meeting at the town hall at 10 a.m. And Jack had an excellent idea. I checked with Mary Ellen today. And the driver for the van will be off on a bus trip, but that's all right. The van will be there. And we can use the van.
Do you have a driver?
We'll have a driver. Dave Peters will drive it.
That's right, Dave's a bus driver.
And if something happened, he didn't drive it, I said I would drive it.
Okay.
So I should just, once again, you're
You
going
should
to
post
go
that.
to the treatment, is there an office, or you're going right to the treatment plant?
Can you get that, Stu?
Who's
Excuse
that,
me?
Can you get the address, Stu?
who's that
Yeah,
brochure
sure,
that
yeah.
dropped off?
Yeah, you should have it, so we,
Yeah,
you
I'll
know,
have it.
we all know, where that
You don't
is.
have that Pennacook brochure that they dropped off, do you? Do you?
No, but I have their address.
Well, we can do
Do you
that.
have the Pennachuck brochure? Did I leave one here?
I think, just as, I'll work with Stu on that and get it posted.
Yeah, I think it's okay if you go on the internet and you find out
No,
Pennacook's
just in case
address.
somebody wants to, join,
Yeah.
meet you there, they need
Yeah.
to know where you're meeting.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think, Tim, that, maybe
Yeah.
you just check with, I think Debbie's going, plan to go,
Yeah.
and,
There's a
I
phone
don't
number.
know, we'll know
Oh,
Monday
yeah.
night, you know,
Yeah,
we'll
like-
meet Monday night,
Just
Laura.
make a copy. I'll make a copy of that.
Okay.
and, So 23 Manchester Street.
That's
Is that what-
their office, that's in Merrimack, we're going to Nashua. I meant we're going right to Nashua and meet there, but I kind of swear, maybe going to Merrimack first. I'll get it straightened out.
I'm sorry, Stu, that's not where this address?
That's the
That's the
office.
company's address, the office.
Okay, so
And,
you're
and,
gonna
and
get it
I don't think we're going there, I think we're going to
Going to the-
Nashua, but I'll get that straightened out.
Okay. Thank you.
And just notice this thing here is a Conservation Commission.
So I talked to Brent to make sure that we weren't in the wetlands with, and I attached that. Haley and Ward had done a plan on this building for us, so I just wanted you to know that.
Where's the gas tank on this building now?
Be in the corner, between the two, the new section hills.
Okay. What is the code? Does it have to be so many feet from the building?
10 feet.
It's right up against it now.
Why can't we just put it in this 10 feet off the building in this corner?
There's gonna be sitting on the driveway,
Make a grass area on here, so.
500 gallons of propane. How close do you want it to the building, Tim?
Yeah,
I agree with Roy, it should be on the other side of the driveway.
okay.
Tubing under the,
No, if that tank
Under
ever
the
blows up,
driveway.
we're gonna lose the building, hopefully.
put the tubing under the driveway and sleeve it.
Okay, I just wanted to know, we got this map here. You wanna put a location on this map so you can give it to John?
Straight across the driveway from where it is now, I would think, right? I mean, it's coming in the building.
Yeah.
Right? So let's go straight across and get it over as close as we can to the,
Yeah, just make sure it's on our property, okay? All right. Any research on the privatization of water department?
Well, I do have a request in the call for information.
Mm-hmm.
I also did a little research on my own. And, but, Weston did a whole over their contacts to get some information as well on the plan. That was their request that they put in. So in the meanwhile, I did a little local research.
Yeah.
What's our design capacity,
For,
our treatment, our distribution?
I think it's 1.6.
Okay. And so the design on the plant, what is that? Excuse me. We got this, we got well two,
Yeah,
and then we get the two wells up where there's gonna be, we're gonna be treated water on those two wells.
right.
What's the design, what's the capacity of those two wells?
I think they're rated for 600,000 a day, I think, by the permit.
Okay. So I'm just trying, they're, Chelmsford is 1 million gallons a day,
Yeah,
and Acton is 1.7 million gallons a day.
right.
So if you look at the populations and the customers there?
Actually, Chelmsford's broken into 4 different districts. But one that particular plant is going in, the district's about the same size, same population.
Yeah, but it's hard to weed out our budget on that one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I've been, once again, I go on the town reports and I look up their budgets
Yeah.
and see what the water enterprise fund is spending in a year. So I looked at a couple other ones. I looked at Littleton as the membrane system. And their budget's like around 2.3 million.
How many customers?
Just over 6,000. Salaries are 600, expenses are 800.
Over 6,000 customers,
Yes,
and they have a budget of 2 million?
yes. Well, they have some debt too. They have 370,000 in debt.
Yeah, but they got 6,000 customers, their water bills must be pretty low.
Oh, I'm sure they're probably a little lower on ours, but
I think they'll be a lot more.
Yeah, I don't know if those numbers are right, John, you gotta check on that.
$2 million with 6,000 customers.
We get $2 million for 1,800 customers.
right. Well, I mean, the population's 6,000. Like the Raleigh population is 6,000.
Oh.
Oh, I thought you meant, okay, the rate
Yeah.
payers.
So you gotta find out how many customers they got, so that's a phone call away, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we gotta figure out a table that he should kind of fill in.
You say the population's about 6,000 in Littleton?
Yeah.
Well, seems to have a lot.
Yeah.
Let's look at, let's just get
And
this,
that's the ones I've tried to look at until this other thing comes through.
the information we wanna compare it to is total budget.
Yeah.
The budget should be broken down, expenses and salaries.
Yeah,
And,
well, like I said, the salaries were,
obligations like bonds and stuff like
600.
that.
expenses were 800. The debt service was 377.
Yeah, but the other thing we wanna compare it to is customers.
They had no capital outlay.
Customers are the big thing.
Yeah, well, this is the one they had.
Whether or not they roll it into their tax bill or they have an enterprise like we do.
Right. I'm pretty sure Littleton was an enterprise
Well, we wanna compare apples to oranges, so if we, you know, if we wanna find out where the municipalities are that are enterprise funds that have 1,800 customers and have a Paul member.
Right.
And it could be anywhere from here to any place in the country, down south.
Right.
The only thing is like if it was in the same region, they'd have the same heating bills as we do,
Right. Let's see.
as opposed to, but they'd have
Material
cooling bills down
costs.
south. It'd be cooling bills maybe, I don't know.
Right. Different.
Okay?
Yep.
Under new business,
Those ones.
by fall, can we get cleaned up down Station 1? The fill that's dumped down there.
What, in behind the gate, you mean, so?
Yeah.
Last time what we did is, Kenny Hamilton came in and cleaned it up. We
Yeah.
needed fill, and we gave it what we wanted, to come in and clean it up.
But didn't we have somebody clean that area up recently, Laura?
So,
Yeah, right.
we actually, that was where the asbestos was, and we had the
I
asbestos
think he
removed.
means the next.
No, and then the gate that
Oh,
used to
the
be there,
next
gated
pin,
area?
the
Oh,
gated area.
Yeah, we talked about, no, we have,
we need to get
that,
that cleaned up again.
we
Yeah.
talked about moving that,
Getting filled
yeah.
I mean, the last time we
Sorry.
had a contractor offer to come in and, you know, clean the place out, take the fill.
Be nice to trade the fill for cleaning it up and then leave it cleaned up.
Right. We need to go in more often instead of waiting a year or, it depends on our water break.
Better off not put any fill,
Well, it's the only place we can put it, so.
I don't, in the
They
bins.
won't let us out there.
up. No, let us.
We got trouble there.
Conservation.
How many yards is out there?
It's quite a bit in there. I mean, probably we got 300 yards, probably so 250, 300 yards.
Two something probably.
Hands up fast.
Probably two something, yeah.
Yeah.
Does, Ron need me for anything?
And this one.
How about the cemetery, Jeff? What else we got? We're all done with playing fields out the schools.
I mean, it's not the best of fill, but I mean, it's,
Yeah, but isn't there a stipulation where you put it?
that's why we have to put it
Yeah,
down there. We can't put it out
contaminated, they
here.
call it contaminated stuff. Maybe you might wanna check with rec committee. You know, could use it down at Brad Street maybe. Gonna build up fields, aren't they still proposing?
Yes, but I suggested some fill from the treatment plant go down there. They said, well, if you dump it, you dump it. Then you swirl the topsoil under it, and this and that.
And we went through quite a project here, what, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, trying to get rid of it. And we got prices and it was ridiculous, and then
All right,
that's when somebody came in and offered to do it for the fill.
all right, if somebody else has to come in, hopefully somebody around one of the town departments can use it. Like Jack said, if they get going down the rec committee, when they're working down there,
Yep.
that's different. They just didn't want to dump it down there.
We need some fill up going up to the road on the tank. Could we use it there, John?
No,
You need something
it's
decent
a
up
bunch of
there.
clay.
You
Yeah.
need something decent up
There's
there,
a lot
Laura.
of clay in it.
Because that road needs to be talked about.
No, you need something, because I mean, we're such a steep hill and clay,
Yeah.
you don't want clay up there.
What'd be nice up there is they crushed asphalt the rest.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know, I get static about that.
No, but I mean, that would hold in the hill, you know,
Yeah.
especially if it's rolled in.
Conservation.
Well, we go to a spill and we have to get rid of that super saturated dirt, right?
Yeah.
Try to go to decent fill.
And then it might make sense, does it make sense to try to contact Bentley and maybe give it to him? Set up,
They
If we
want
can-
money for it.
They want-
We went through that, what, year and a half ago, wasn't it? You know, we got all the prices, we had like 5 prices.
We have 5 prices and they all wanted to charge. to take it
Yeah,
back.
I mean, one of them was over $1,000.
Right. There was only one guy that would come in and take.
I mean, if a local contractor wants it, let them come in and clean the place out again and,
No charge for equipment or trucking.
Somebody come along.
Ask around. See if any of the local
Yeah.
contractors need it,
well,
you know.
yeah. not-
Stipulation, they clean up neat.
Oh, yeah.
it'd be nice if we had to haul it someplace, we don't haul it to our place, we haul it to Bentley and just drop it off again.
I just left you.
I think they charge.
I know, but that's what you guys just said, but where would he charge if he's gonna haul
Something in the bill, we shouldn't have to, take it to them and pay them to
How you
some
doing?
local guy.
it? Well, yeah,
Take it.
Bentley's right down the street, that's what I'm saying.
Local guys around
What's
town.
that?
What about, Miles River?
Same thing, no charge. But
I think they were the ones with the highest price, wasn't it?
I think they would.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a funny thing, you know, people take the stuff.
I mean, it's not what you call wood material.
I know.
90% of it's clay.
Well, it's
Or
till,
rock.
it's either till or it could be clay or it could be beautiful too, it could be gravel.
Right. Depends on where you are.
It came from Upper Weathersfield Street, it's clay.
Yeah,
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that.
I just have one question. Did you get the spring done for the clutch?
I haven't heard of it yet.
7:30.
They get that ready.
I'll second it.
All in favor? All right.
They get that ready.